9326. Let's go ahead and talk to Ray. Ray's giving us a call from Umatilla. What's going on, Ray?
Hi. I was wanting to talk to him about my Dodge Ram 1500.
All right, go ahead.
3.7. Well, what's happening is it's like it's stuck in one gear. It don't shift. I mean, it's like it's stuck in drive. It won't shift up the drive. It takes off, but it's like it takes off in drive.
Okay. Now, you got reverse, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I got reverse, and I got just the one power gear. And, like I say, it won't shift like it's supposed to from low all the way up to overdrive.
Okay.
It won't shift. It just, if I take it out of reverse and take off with it, it's just like it's in drive.
Yeah. Ray, on that transmission, there's an electrical part inside the transmission. You have to drop the pan down to get to it. But there's a part in there, it's called a governor pressure switch. And when those things start acting up or they don't regulate the fluid correctly, it causes that transmission to go into limp mode. And what it does is, instead of first gear, it's usually stuck in second gear. That's their limp mode. And that's to get the vehicle in someplace to where it can be diagnosed and repaired. But there's a couple things it could be. I mean, there could be something inside the transmission, leaking hydraulic fluid or whatever. But in most cases, when this happens on that vintage Dodge Ram, it's usually that governor pressure switch. And when they act up, the computer system will it puts the vehicle into second gear to keep you from possibly breaking something else in the transmission itself. But
Right.
have you went and had the computer system scanned in it or anything since it's been acting up?
Well, it only started a couple of days ago. I ain't had time to go and have it scanned, but I always listen to your show, and I just figured I'd just give you a quick call and see what you think it might be.
Yeah. This is real common on those older Dodge Rams. We see this all the time, and it's normally that pressure switch. We would have to scan it to know 100% for sure what is and what isn't working correctly in the transmission. But in most cases, it usually winds up being a governor pressure switch that acts up in those things. How many miles are on the truck?
It's got 181,000 on it, but it's been well taken care of.
Yeah. Have you serviced the transmission since you've had it?
Yeah, I just got it. I done a roof for the guy that owned it, and I've known him for years and years, and he always had it serviced, the transmission and everything. I've only had it for like 4 or 5 months.
Uh-huh.
And he's always had the transmission and oil change, the tune-ups, everything done to it regular.
Yeah. Well, as long as it was maintained and had a few transmission services over its lifetime, the actual transmission is in pretty good shape. Let me ask you this, Ray. When this started, did it start while you were driving it or when you just started it up and took off with it?
It started when I come out of the store and got in it and took off with it. I said, wait a minute, it ain't shifting.
Okay, all right. Well, what that does is that pretty much proves our theory that it's an electrical problem. You see what I'm saying? If you'd have been driving the truck and then all of a sudden it started shifting crazy and everything else, and then went into second gear and stayed there, well, that tells me something could have possibly broke. You see what I'm saying? An internal hydraulic leak, or a sun gear broke, or a band snapped, or a servo started leaking. Just a million things. But it drove fine to the store, and then when you got back in it to leave, that's when you had the problem. That's an electrical issue. There's no question in my mind. And when those governor pressure switches, when they start acting up, the computer system will automatically default, and it will go and put that truck into what they call a limp mode. And that is just so you can go ahead and continue driving it to get it. It's not going to leave you on the side of the roads, what it does. But it doesn't want to go ahead and do any other functions in fear of possibly, hurting something inside the transmission itself. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and I think maybe you'll luck out on this one. How's that?
I appreciate it. And that's a governor pressure switch, right?
It's governor pressure solenoid or switch or sensor, whatever the one they want to call it. And you got to drop the pan in order to get to it. But that would be what I would put in it. But now, before you do anything, I would like for you to get it scanned and see if there's a code for that. If not, I would probably replace it regardless. So you let us know how it works out for you, Ray. We appreciate your call. You have a wonderful weekend.